Hi, it is time for another Team to Beating vlog. I haven't done one in a while. I'm also doing the intro after I filmed all the rest because this video was a mess. It originally started off as an idea to read more adult sci-fi and fantasy books because I own a lot of those and I'm just very intimidated by them, so I don't read them often. So that was the original plan. And for that, I originally picked up The Sleepiness of Stars by Christopher Paolini, which is the first book you're gonna see me talk about in this vlog. And then I was like halfway through it and I just realized that reading three big sci-fi fantasy books just wasn't really the thing I was in the mood for. I'm just like not really in the mood for fantasy or sci-fi in general. So I decided to shift the concept of the video to books outside of my comfort zone, because that's eventually how this idea started, and adult sci-fi and fantasy isn't the only thing that scares the shit out of me. So I added these two books to this video, which is Gevaarlijke Borderline by Katalin Holshoff, which is a non-fiction book, and I have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which is a classic. And again, I own a lot of classics, don't read them often, so definitely was something that needed to be done, something that's intimidating. So yeah, those are the three books I'm going to be reading in this video. I hope you enjoy. Let me start you off with giving a quick synopsis of The Sleepiness of Stars, because even though I finished it now, I still have a hard time like explaining it. But basically we follow this woman who is a scientist, and she's on this planet to do research and see if that planet can become like inhabitable for humans. And on the last day there, she discovers this thing that is alien made, and shit happens, and there's a whole galactic war going on all of a sudden. And yeah, that sounds like a shit explanation, but I generally don't know how to explain this book better to you. Even though like I finished it, I fully grasped everything that was going on, I still don't know how to explain it differently to you. Hi, I'm a quarter of the way through The Sleepiness of Stars, which means I'm 218 pages in, which is like the length of a short book. So here we are. Thoughts. I don't know, I'm reading this pretty quickly, which I wasn't expecting. Like my main hurdle with adult sci-fi and fantasy is that it always just like seems so, I don't know, like unreachable. Like it seems so difficult. Often like the wording is just a bit more difficult, and it just takes more brain power to read, and I haven't really felt that with this so far. I feel like the writing is pretty easy, pretty quick, and having a good time with it. It's just that when it comes to the plot, I'm still a little bit confused. It kind of just thrown in without an explanation, just like this is what we're doing, and it's a bit confusing, and we haven't really had a time to like settle down and like explain a little bit more. So I'm hoping things will start to make more sense as I keep reading, but right now I am very confused about lots of things. I also just feel like the characters are a bit flat, which most of the characters we haven't really spent a lot of time with except the main character. So I'm hoping we also get a bit more depth to that character, so I just can feel a little bit more of attachment, because that right now is my main issue with this book. Because I am so confused and I have no real attachment to the characters, I also don't really have an attachment to the plot, and I'm not really as like involved, I guess, with everything. I just wish I was a little bit more sucked in at this point. But I am very excited to keep reading. Hello, I have reached the halfway mark of The Sleepiness of Stars, and I have to say my thoughts on it haven't changed a lot. I apologize. We have kind of like settled down on the ships, and we're spending more time with like its crewmates, so I am kind of forming more of an attachment to the characters, even though I still feel like very distant from everything happening. I am quite liking the side characters, like the crewmates and stuff. I really like learning about them, and I just like hanging out with them. Just like the scenes where they're kind of like hanging out and talking are my favorite scenes so far. I'm still don't feel any connection with our main character. I feel a bit of distance from the plot, and I just am not as invested in it as I would like to. I do think some interesting things are happening and some interesting reveals are being made, and I'm excited to continue reading and learn more, but at this moment in time I still feel very detached from it, and we're halfway through, so I highly doubt that's gonna improve a lot. But yeah, my thoughts on this so far. Hi, it has been a bit since I last talked to you. I've had a change of plans. Basically, this was gonna be a vlog in which I read 3 books that are adult, sci-fi, or fantasy, because that's a genre I'm very intimidated by, but I own a lot of. So just wanted to get through things through that. But I'm still halfway through the Sleepiness of Stars. Honestly, over the past couple of weeks, I just haven't really felt compelled to pick it up, and I tried a couple of times and my brain was just not really like flowing with it. I'm also pretty sick right now, so I decided that maybe the whole theme of adult sci-fi fantasy isn't the best idea for an entire vlog if this is the way it's all gonna go, because you know it's a lot. So instead I've changed the theme to just to be books out of my comfort zone, because adult sci-fi fantasy isn't the only genre out of my comfort zone. So I am glad to announce that I've read another book. That's Gewaltige Borderline by Kathleen Hulshoff. This is a non-fiction book about this woman who has borderline personality disorder, and basically this is from a Dutch publisher, they're Dutch books, and they have like a series of non-fiction books about like people and their mental illness and other neurodivergencies. I read it now. It's non-fiction. I'm always scared of non-fiction. I don't know why, because most of the non-fiction I pick up I do end up liking, because I only pick up non-fiction on topics that I'm interested in. So, you know, the chances of it going wrong is very small, but I'm still so scared always to pick non-fiction up. So, yeah, this video pushed me to pick up another one. And I really like this, give it 4 to 5 stars. I have a hard time like rating and reviewing non-fiction, because especially ones that are like more about a person's life, like this one is. But I just always think like I'm just rating the writing basically. And why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 stars is because there was like a section in this book that I just was a little bit confusing, and I had a hard time kind of following along with it, and therefore it also kind of felt a bit dragging to me. But for the rest, I really like this book. I think the thing, now that I've read 2 books in this series, I can tell you is what I like is how it starts off with like the scientific stuff, but it also blends in a lot of personal experiences of these people to kind of make this like scientific stuff make more sense. And I really like the blend between those things. I also quite liked how readable this is. Like the writing isn't very complex. It's also, that's my main barrier with non-fiction. I'm always scared of the writing being like very complex and like difficult to read. That's not the case. It generally just like feels like a diary in a way, like just a person like telling their story, and it's very easy to read. Hi, I'm back with another blog update. I am 3/4 of the way through the Sleepiness of Stars. It might be weird for the vlog to like jump between books. I apologize. But it's what we're doing. So I only have a quarter of the way left, which is still like so many pages, but oh well. I'm getting to a point where I'm just a bit frustrated with this book, not because of anything that's happening in it, but just that I feel like I've been reading this forever and there's still so much left. And this is why I don't read big books. It's like one of the big reasons why I feel so intimidated by big books is just that I've been reading this for so long and I have still so much, but I have a good hope for it. It did take me a little bit to get into this quarter. Like I told you in my last update, I took a little bit of a break, and that really worked against me because I just had a difficult time getting into it. But once I did, I got into the flow and I was enjoying myself again. I still have a problem where I don't feel as sucked into this book as I would like to with most books, and I feel a bit distant from what is happening, but at least I'm enjoying myself again, which is great, because honestly like the first, I would say like 100 pages maybe of this first quarter, because of my break, was just like such a slog to get through because my brain just wasn't computing with it. I don't know why, because it's not like it's not written very difficultly, or it's just like hard to follow or something. That's not the case at all, but it just, my brain and it were just like not working together for a bit, and that was a pain in the butt to get through. But yeah, I'm also getting more of a feel for the characters. I feel like when it comes to like the side characters, like the crew that our main character is like traveling with, that crew I had like a great sense of already last quarter, and this one I also feel like I got more of a sense of our main character, which I'd been waiting for for her to just, I don't know, just click a bit in my mind, and it finally happened, and I'm enjoying my time. Just wish I was a little bit more sucked into it. Like right now this is like a 3-star book. Hi, ho. I am here with my favorite update that I've ever given you, and that's that I finished the Dependency of Stars finally. It's Monday, so I didn't get it done by the time I wanted to get it done, but it's only a day delayed, so it's not too bad. I also just like updated my Goodreads, and I saw that it took me like an entire month to read this book, so yikes, but I'm glad to announce that I did it. I ended up giving this a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't think I have much more to add than I already said in my previous updates because everything still stands true. But basically, to wrap it up quickly, I think this definitely was a case of it's me, not you, because I understand why people would love this. Even though it's like a massive book, I feel like there was never a moment in here where you could be bored. There was always something going on, and I really liked it. I really loved the group of side characters, and then also quite liked our main character. I liked the storyline. It just that something in this book, I don't know what, just kept me from being fully engaged into it and feel this distant from it. So yeah, that's why I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars, and I'm disappointed. And talking about sci-fi, the next book that I will be reading for this reading vlog after a long debate is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is a classic. Everybody knows what it's about, I hope, because I don't know if I could explain it to you. But basically, I've owned this for a couple of years now, and I've been meaning to read it like every October since I've owned it, and I just haven't done it. So now that I'm doing this vlog, doing things out of my comfort zone, we're reading this, because classics, even though I have like a whole stack of them, scare me because, you know, they're classics. So yeah, I will be reading this, and I'll update you once I'm halfway through. That's the marker I have given myself. Okay, so I am here because I'm halfway through Frankenstein, and I'm supposed to update you, what I said. I feel like so far not a whole lot has happened. I don't know, I feel like we still are setting things up a bit, which, you know, we're halfway through. So I prefer to like be a bit more in the action, but also know classics work differently. That's why I'm scared of them. Honestly, also a big part of why I'm scared of classics is like the language, and often it takes me like a while to get into the writing, but that really isn't the case for this. I feel like the writing is like pretty like easy to read, and it's like very old schooly still, but I feel like it isn't as dense as other classics can be, always fear classics to be. Honestly, the introduction to this, which, you know, is written by like a modern day person to kind of like give background information on the story, that was denser to read than the actual story. So there you go, and I'm reading this pretty quickly as well. It's just that I don't really feel like an attachment to this book yet. I'm not really as fully gripped by it as I would like, which apparently is a trend in this video, but I feel like that's because of the way this is written in a way. Not language wise, but it is written as like Victor Frankenstein like recounting the story to someone else, so it's like him telling the story of his life basically. So it's pretty like stream of conscious type writing, and that just is keeping me a little distance from the book. But for the rest, I don't know, those are my thoughts. I'm not really liking it, I'm not disliking it, it's just that I feel like nothing is really happening. Okay, so I finished Frankenstein, so let's wrap this vlog up because it's been taking such a long time. But I am going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It just didn't work for me. Everything that I talked about while I was halfway through, just the same. I really like the narration style. I think it's like very different and cleverly done, but it is keeping me at this distance from what is happening, which keeps me from being like fully engaged in the story and like enjoying it to its full potential. I feel like not a whole lot happened in it, and I don't know, I was expecting like some action or something, or at least something scary to happen, and that also never happened. So I don't know, I'm a bit disappointed by this one, but I can also understand why other people would like this. It just didn't really work for me. So yeah, these are the 3 books that I read in the past month, because that's how long this took me, that are out of my comfort zone. And I'm glad I did this, because even though I have 2 3-stars and a 4-star, which, you know, 4-star is great, but like 3 stars are like middle of the road books, I'm still happy with how all of this turned out, because I can definitely, with these 2 books, I can definitely see why other people like them. They didn't really work out for me. But for the rest, I'm happy with it. So yeah, another vlog, that's a success. Let me know in the comment section down below if you read any of these 3 books and what you thought of them, as well as what are the kind of books that you consider out of your comfort zone. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Good, bye. Here I am again, the same old situation. What does the God thing have to be?